sorry, a Thierry Pedro Pascal. I'd give him my kidney right now if he asked for it. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with a reaction to The Last of Us. I apologize, this is late, I know, but I am finally here and so ready to get into this episode because, as you know with this show, very difficult to avoid spoilers when you are behind. But yes, this episode is called Kin. So the last episode was bittersweet. We got to meet Henry and Sam a couple episodes ago, and last episode kind of went through their arc. We kind of learned their story, what happened inside of, oh goodness, what was the name of that QZ? But anyways, we found out how the rise and fall of that QZ went. And unfortunately, the episode ended with us losing both Henry and Sam, and Ellie just kind of getting a really harsh reality check again about what this world is like outside of what she's known. And I also feel like potentially a bit of a kick to the gut because I think she really wants to believe that whatever is special about her as far as being able to resist the fungal infection, I think she thought that maybe being able to help Sam if she could would be like proof that this is going to work, but unfortunately it didn't work out for him. And of course, as viewers, we know there's so many reasons why that was the case, but all the same, it'll be interesting to see how Ellie kind of handles that going forward if it even comes up again, because we saw that at the end of the episode, she didn't want to talk about them anymore. She kind of wanted to just move on and, walk through the grief, as it were. So they are back on the road again. They're a little bit closer to their destination, but of course they have no car, no supplies because of what happened. So we'll see whether or not they get to their destination or not. But with a name like this in the episode, I have to think that we are getting pretty close to, or we're going to meet Joel's brother Tommy at long last. And I'm not going to lie, I've seen a few thumbnails flying around, so I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. So I didn't get to stay completely spoiler free, unfortunately. Anyway, that's enough jibber jabber from me. Let's get into the episode. But before I do, if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I do reactions here to shows like these, as well as anime and movies and all kinds of good stuff. So if you are interested in watching me do that, please think about joining the fam today. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. And if you like this content, I'd really appreciate it as well if you gave some love to the like button. It just helps this channel out a lot. It means a lot to me. So yes, please, if you could, I would love that. And for those of you who've been here before, thank you so much for coming back and for all your patience and support. It means the world to me. It really, really does. And if you haven't joined the fam already, please, let's do so today. All right, that out of the way, guys, let's get into the episode right about now. Yeah, I really don't want to see this again, but that would be some serious PTSD for Ellie or anyone. Honestly, I pray that I never actually have to witness someone do that in real life. Oh, 3 months. Okay. Yeah, I figured we'd be taking some time here because they lost the vehicle. Cozy Alberta winters. You ain't gotta zoom in on those now. Gonna have PETA all up on you. Oh my gosh. Okay, as Canadians know who this guy is. He's been in a lot of Canadian television. Love seeing our First Nations people represented.
Who the hell are you? Just someone passing through.
Friends. Your wife looks pretty chill though.
Why did you shoot him?
The gun's all the way over there. He didn't hurt me, by the way.
Period.
You made him soup?
Yeah.
Yeah? I love this. It's like watching a really sideways episodes of North of 660.
He's got a girl with him.
Can I come down?
Right.
No. Ellie.
She's coming.
Did you tell him the truth?
Yeah?
Are you telling me the truth?
Yeah?
Why don't I trust her?
Hide. Came here before you were born, Sonny.
Period.
Get the hell away from everybody.
I didn't want to.
But you did.
What about the fireflies?
We get those in the summer.
Not the bugs, the people.
They're firefly people?
No, I love them. Can we stay here forever?
But we see the bodies they leave behind.
Yeah.
Some infected, some not.
Lady's saying we mind our business, and that's why we're still alive and comfortable enough to rock in this chair. Okay?
You're not gonna scare us.
Oh, Joel's scared.
Him?
Yep, Joel's scared. You're not scared, Ellie, because you still haven't seen anything.
Joel?
Just a panic
Joel, are you
attack.
okay? Joel?
Shut up.
Holy shit, are you dying?
She's having a panic attack. Let him have it.
It's just a reminder that if you're dead, I'm fucked.
Shut up, fine.
Okay.
She's like, this isn't about you, it's about me.
All we have to do is cross the river of death.
Seems easy enough. I think it's so good that they're actually showing this, because I thought maybe that PTSD was more Ellie, but I keep forgetting that Joel, even though he's seen a lot, would still be struggling a lot as well, because, you know, death never gets easier, despite what people might say. It's still traumatic for us every single time. And Joel's seen a lot of it in a very short amount of time recently. And hearing that from these people, knowing his brother is out there.
Starving. Should have stolen 2 rabbits.
We can get our own rabbits.
You gonna
Right?
teach me how?
Just keep moving.
I forgive her for stealing the rabbit, and just in that she doesn't know how to hunt. I thought maybe she did. What were they even teaching them at Fedra School? Oh, that is a beautiful sight, y'all. If you ever get a chance to see the Northern Lights, it is a spiritual experience.
Can I have some?
No.
What? Just to warm up?
I mean, alcohol's the least of your problems with her right now, Joel.
Do anything you want. Where are you going? What are you doing?
It's never been an option. I would raise sheep. They're quiet.
So what to say? He's going to make a comment about how obedient they are.
It'll work, right? The vaccine.
Whew.
It's a little late to start wondering.
Can't help not to.
I rubbed some of my blood into his bite. I know, it was stupid, but
Sentiment wasn't.
But she's no fool. If she says they can do it, they can do it.
Oh, look at Joel actually comforting her. He's come a long way. Joel of a few episodes ago would have been like, it probably won't work. I like the idea, though, her saying that she wants to go to the moon. It's actually showing that she still believes that there's a future, that the hope is there, and that's so huge for someone her age. I mean, it's normal, but, you know, in a world like this, I would be surprised if more people were cynical and not at her age.
we were passed out, so I took second watch.
You gotta wake me up if that happens.
You needed the rest. I wish I liked winter. I'd go wandering around Alberta forests a lot more, but... Yeah, this bridge just looks like a whole funnel to get picked off in. Like, not in daylight. It's no way. It's no way.
I'm learning how to whistle.
You don't know how to whistle?
Does it sound like I know how to
It's a
whistle?
lot harder than you think with your fingers anyway.
Still interested, though.
This whole shot is just a Travel Alberta poster.
What if this is the River of Death?
Uh-oh. I guess that means you don't get your water from here? Wow, y'all didn't hear them horses coming, huh?
How about we just talk this through?
How about you shut the fuck up?
Okay, easy.
Rude. Oh no, they haven't trained it.
If you're infected, he will smell it and
That's-
he will rip you up.
That's a problem. That's a problem. Very smart though. But she wouldn't smell like a typical infected though, would she? Oh, he wants to be petted.
Now her.
Never mind. Yeah, see, he doesn't know. I don't think she smells the same as a typical infected. Like the virus is there, but it wouldn't be. Uh-oh. Not that sound. Joel had that sound when his daughter died. Yeah, see? I feel like there's a different smell, right? Like
Just looking for my brother.
just walking.
That's all, nothing more.
What's your name?
Joel.
Hi. That one was probably looking at him like, I've heard of Joel, I've heard of Tess. She's too young to be Tess, or if she's not, ew. The tipsy bison. Oh, look at that shot. This might be Fort Edmonton.
Tommy!
Hi. Are we going to have a tearful hug? There just might be. Oh, Joel needed this. He needed it so bad. If Tommy had not been okay, he would not have been okay. That panic attack let us know.
I came here to save you.
Pleasure cruise. He's here for you, duh. Ellie's like, I've never seen him so warm and joyful. Is this the same man? That'd be so confusing for her, because on one hand, she's probably happy that Joel's happy, but the other hand, she's probably like, damn, he's never given me a tenth of that warmth.
I think maybe y'all got a little off on the wrong foot.
She's gonna have her guys kill us.
We got to be real careful about who we let in this place. But it's all bark. We're just trying to scare off those who might want to
Ellie is very scared of her position in Joel's life right now. Hey, Tara.
Would it be nice to have a moment here, maybe just for family?
Oh.
Maria is family, actually.
Joel, say congrats.
Right? Speaking of manners.
How about a tour?
Yeah. Anything to break this weird ass tension.
Greenhouses, livestock, all shared. Collective ownership.
So,
Nice for now.
communism.
Yeah,
Nah, I didn't like that.
It is that, literally. This is
It
the
is.
commune. We're communists.
exactly. Y'all always think that communism's a bad thing. It's not for everyone. But I know for Americans, it's like a swear word.
Doesn't seem like you age much.
Thank
You,
you.
on the other hand.
It's because he's with his sister. You know, she taught him to moisturize. It's been a whole new world.
So how's Tess?
Oh,
She's fine.
wow.
All right.
Good then.
Guess he's still not ready to deal with that, huh?
She's the daughter of some firefly muckety-muck. Trying to find her family somewhere out here. I was heading in this direction, so
Really?
Lying to Tommy. Interesting.
it'll be easy for us. Seeing as how you can headshot infected from half a mile away, which is a bunch of bullshit, by the way.
Hey, let the man strut.
What, because your wife won't let you?
Joel,
She the one who kept you off the radio?
Excuse you.
Maria and her crew found me. They're good people. They didn't have to take me in, but they did.
Exactly.
And for good fucking reason. I mean, folks find out we're up here.
No, I heard. Wrong people.
So
might show
interesting.
up.
He says your wife won't let you, but he expects him to recognize their relationship.
If you knew the shit that I've been through, Tommy, trying to find you these last few months.
I'm gonna be a father. Maria's a few months along now. So I just gotta be more careful.
Yeah. You remember what that's like, don't you, Joel?
I feel like I'd be a good dad.
I think you would. Just gotta do your best. Oh, Joel.
Guess we'll find out. What else am I supposed to say?
Congratulations. Happy for you.
Just because life stopped for you
Mm.
doesn't mean it has to stop for me.
Ooh, that's a bar. Damn. It's true, though.
Go grab some supplies and be out of your hair in the morning.
It's not what he said, Joel. Oy vey. You did what you had to do, Tommy. You weren't wrong. I think Joel needed to hear that from somebody who's known him the whole time. Panic attack again, yep. Oh, I just realized she had the same hair as Sarah. Oh, I'm so sorry. But also, wow, I forgot when those came out. But so much smarter in an apocalypse now that I think about it. Don't need manufacturing. Didn't even think about that. See, I love that this show thinks about those things, because that's always one of the biggest concerns as a woman looking at the zombie apocalypse. Like, about what we gonna do every 28 days or so. They're gonna be a problem. Is it Kevin and Sarah?
Let me get my scissors.
Oh, whoa, no, I'll...
Trim. That's all. Just the ends. I promise.
Take the trim, sweetie. When else are you gonna get this done?
You were looking at the little memorial Tommy made?
Yeah.
And kid, just Kevin. Sarah was Joel's daughter.
Oh, T.
So then you understand my concern.
He doesn't do that anymore.
Do you stop killing people?
Only if they deserve it.
And Tommy did it too. Are you worried about him?
Ooh,
Tommy was following Joel.
Tommy
Where
was
you are
grown.
now.
Well, maybe I'm smarter than Tommy. No offense.
Oh, you are asking for it.
The only people who can betray us are the ones we trust.
That's true. It was a very interesting conversation, but I liked it. I mean, it's interesting that Maria is automatically assuming that Joel is a bad influence, but then again, it shows you the difference in perspective and story. Maybe Tommy felt like he was following Joel.
Hey.
Imagine if all the movies in the world stopped in 2003.
Figured I'd save you the trouble.
Yeah, new boots would be the way to go. And yes, you can take them. Don't be proud.
I shouldn't have said what I said.
No, it was the truth, and he needed to hear it.
I know you're happy for me. It's complicated for you.
Exactly.
She's immune.
Okay.
What?
I think you should trust him. Tommy's like, what do I do with this information?
From the beginning.
He wants to hear the whole story. Now Joel can start telling the truth.
I saw a man kill his own brother. To save her. Well, I just watched. And today I thought that dog was going to tear her apart because it smelled something on her. And all I did was stand there.
What else could you do, Joel? You would have died.
I was so afraid.
Oh, this is all about Sarah.
My heart feels like it stopped.
Yeah. That's repressed trauma, Joel.
I just know that when I wake up, I've lost something. I'm failing in my sleep.
Damn. That line.
That's all I've ever done.
Whew.
It's failure. Again and again. And I have to leave her.
It's not for her, it's for you.
You're younger than me. You're still strong. You said it yourself. You'll come back. You have to take her.
How's heavy?
It's the last thing I'll ever ask of you. I swear.
I'm sorry. A teary Pedro Pascal. I'd give him my kidney right now if he asked for it. Sure, I'll take her.
I would take her out at dawn.
Ellie heard that, didn't she? She was wandering around outside. I think you should tell your wife. She's going to want to know why you're going to ride into no man's land with a teenage girl. And just because my brother said so is not going to cut it. Not to a pregnant woman.
I came here to talk to you.
No, why are you still here? If you're gonna ditch me, ditch me.
He knows the area better than I do.
Do you give a shit about me or not?
Of course I do.
Then what are you so afraid of?
Death?
I'm not her, you know.
Tread carefully.
Maria told me about Sarah, and
No.
Yeah, tread carefully.
but I've lost people too.
You have no idea what loss is.
She's an orphan.
Everybody I have cared for has either died or left me. Everybody fucking except for you! So don't tell me that I'd be safe with somebody else, because the truth is, I would just be more scared.
You're not my daughter. And I sure as hell ain't your dad.
Whew.
We're going our separate ways.
Wall right back up. This is so complicated because Ellie's got valid points here, but yeah, she's not even scraped the tip of the iceberg around Joel's trauma. But also Joel needs to get to a point where he can talk about Sarah too. That is a big chunk of why he's having panic attacks. Oh, our first Sarah flashback since episode 1. So much unprocessed grief.
Come in.
Hi. If it helps, me and Joel share DNA, does that make it no? Okay. Hey, if you have a girl, Tommy, this is good practice for how moody they get when they hit their teens. I had a feeling you'd already be there.
I came here to steal one of these horses and go.
I would have gave you one.
I know.
He's like, but it's not as dramatic.
You deserve a choice. I still think you'd be better off with Tommy.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right. Y'all have bonded. It is what it is, Joel. You're not her dad, but you're the closest thing to a parental figure she's got. Joel needs hugs, desperately.
There's a place for you here. Both of you.
Yeah. Because going back to Boston at this point, not a good idea.
Because Maria took mine, you know.
I already said yes, Joel.
He's like, please, don't go in on my wife. It's not going to go well for us.
Adios, big brother.
Adios, amigo. It would have been hilarious if Pedro had just like broken into like a whole Spanish tirade there just for funsies. Just for us fans. I know you're not wasting bullets on practice.
You're flinching.
The target's too small.
I made it bigger than I should have.
Y'all
Eject
don't
the
have
cartridge.
I mean, I know she has to learn, but you're wasting ammo.
You squeeze the trigger like you love it. Gentle, steady, nice and slow.
She's too young for this
This thing or get
convo.
pregnant.
That's a beautiful shot. I love that. Someone make it into a poster right now.
Oracle. Everybody loved contractors.
Not really. Well, I love them when you got things done on time, but that's a whole other story. Aw, she gave him a cuddle.
You're probably in the middle. Safer. This way.
I feel like you should leave the horse out here. I don't want this horse catching any strays. It didn't deserve it.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a singer.
Shut up.
Don't you joke.
Why is that funny?
Yeah. You haven't heard him sing yet.
Well, you're singing for me later. I'm gonna save the fucking world, man. That's the least you can do for me.
Ooh, when you put it that way. Twinkle, twinkle, here you go.
Must be from the old labs.
We're in Wild Kingdom.
First time seeing a monkey.
Can monkeys survive in a winter environment? I don't even know, because most of them are in tropical locations. I have questions now. Please put the horse away. Tied to this here tree so I can't run away when all the bullshit happens.
There's a packing list. Something you make before moving.
They just left.
Maybe they didn't have a choice. These sets are unbelievable, by the way. Like, I'm just thinking of all the detail to like make everything look so derelict is not easy. They better get awards for this show just for set design alone. It's your way. Excuse us. I'm just thinking of how horrifying it would be to do all that level of research and have to keep it on paper. Like, it just terrifies me. That's so much stuff to keep on something that could get wet or burned. You know, they don't look friendly. They definitely look unwashed.
Joe!
That could have been the horse, you bastard. No, Ellie, shooting right now is not a good idea. Go to sleep. Oh, or go to sleep forever. Oh my God. That is some serious adrenaline. You didn't even feel that. You shouldn't have pulled that out, Joel. Let's go. Get on the house. Let's go. You're not supposed to pull those out, folks. You should have left it in until you had a place to bind it. See, that always galls me. You're going to call him names when your men came up and tried to hit him with a hammer in the face. Yeah, Joel's bleeding out. If you could just give him a moment.
Shit!
Oh my God. That is a 200-pound man.
Joel, open your eyes.
I'm glad she knew to
Open your
put
eyes.
pressure on it.
Joel, you gotta get up.
Get the snow. It'll actually help.
I don't know where the fuck I'm going. What the fuck I'm gonna do. Joel.
Yeah, he's not choosing to tap out here, Ellie. He's lost blood. Come on, sis. You can do this. I know you can. This horse is so good. The horse is like, never mind. I'll just stand here until y'all figure it out. Oh, man. What a place to end. Okay, guys, that was episode 6, which was fantastic. That was great. I love this show so much. I'm so happy I finally got to catch up on this episode. So much that happened here. I'm going to try to keep this review brief. I really just want to kind of talk about Joel finally kind of breaking down and showing some real vulnerability around all that he's dealing with, because we've seen it all season. It's not like it's brand new. We know that Joel has been repressing since episode 1, right? We saw it with when he beat that guard nearly to death. And then we saw it again later on when Tess died. Like, Joel hasn't really dealt with grief. That's not the way that he deals with things. Because, I mean, we saw that, of course, the first major loss that we saw Joel endure was losing Sarah. But then there was a 20-year time jump, and we have no idea what happened during that time. We kind of just got to modern day, and, you know, the whole adventures with Ellie started. But I think it's safe to say that for Joel, he didn't really process his grief around Sarah. You know, he cried a bit when it happened for understandable reasons, but then I have a feeling that he just kind of went into almost a zombie-like mode, right? You know, because for some of us, when we experience something very traumatic or going through a lot of pain, the way that some of us deal with it is just by trying to numb it, like just pretending it didn't happen, just not even allowing ourselves to feel anything, because we feel like if we do, we're going to drown with it, right? We're going to just never come back from the grief. And that's a fear a lot of us have, right? If you feel those sad emotions, what if you can't come back out? And I think that's what happened with Joel, is that he just said, you know what, I can't, because every time I think about this, it's a spiral and I'm scared that I won't be able to come out of it. So I think he basically just kind of shut that part of himself off and just was like, let's just focus on what's next. And I think the what's next for him was taking care of Tommy, right? Tommy was the next person that he had, that he cared about, that was family. And then eventually he met Tess, etc., right? But that's not a way to deal with it, right? You have to deal with your grief. You need to deal with the trauma that you go through, because if you don't, it can have you stuck and can have you frozen in a way, mentally, emotionally in your life. And that's exactly what happened to Joel. Like, even though, yes, he's aged, but he's still emotionally stuck, especially when it comes to feeling things and when it comes to being vulnerable and when it comes to letting people in. We saw when Tess died, she she said in her speech to Joel before, after she got infected and before she sent them away, she's like, I never asked anything of you. I never asked you to feel the way that I do, right? So that was a very telling line, basically saying that while Joel definitely cared about Tess, he would never really let her all the way in, right? There was always a wall there. And we even saw it when she was trying to tend to his hand. He was like, no, it's fine. Like, he wouldn't let her, be soft with him. When they were laying in bed, she was the one who was clinging onto him where his back was turned to her. All those subtle things, those body languages are always to show that Joel still keeps a barrier, proximity of people, at a distance, because he's scared of what it would mean to let somebody in again and lose them because of what happened with his daughter. It was too much. He doesn't want to deal with it. And then when he lost Tess, didn't talk about it, right? Told Elliot, I don't want to talk about it. Don't talk to me about it. I don't want to talk about it, right? But he clearly was grieving her, right? He clearly wants to grieve her. It killed him, right? And then, of course, we see Bill and Frank. Same thing. They die. He reads their letter. Rather than keeping it, he crushes it up. I don't think he threw it away, but again, just the crumpling it up and shoving it away is like literally a metaphor for what he did with his feelings. He was probably very sad. He cared about Bill and Frank. They were friends, but gotta just push that down. And then again, as I said at the beginning of this episode, I would have thought that it was Ellie that we saw having the trauma around seeing what happened, although she probably does, but it was Joel. Even though it was a very short time, he started to care for Henry and Sam, and then seeing that he wasn't able to help them, right? It's all just been compounding, and Joel's just been trying to put away and compartmentalize and detach. Joel's a caring person. He had to be. You saw the way he was with his daughter, but he's trying to cut that part of himself off, and it's piling up. It's getting to a pressure point, and we're starting to see that in the panic attacks, right? The closer he was getting to Tommy, or potentially where Tommy was after all of this, right? Because in his mind, he's thought, I've lost my girl. I've lost my friends. I've watched a lot of people die. I'm risking my life every day. And now if I find out that I've gone through all of this and I've lost my brother, like, I really think that Joel would have snapped. Truthfully, like, I think he would have snapped if Tommy had not been okay. But we saw it right after he stumbled upon that adorable First Nations couple. He had that first panic attack that we saw, right? It just, and that was what it was, right? The chest pain, the shortness of breath, the dizziness, the world's closing in. And, he didn't want to confide in Ellie because, of course, that takes away from his tough guy persona, but it's very understandable. He's been through a lot, and now the weight of it is starting to come down on him, and that panic, that weakness, that paralysis that comes from fear is starting to really kick in for him because it's too much. He needs to deal with some of this in some way or another. So we see this. He finally gets to the little settlement that Tommy is in, and thankfully Tommy is okay, and Tommy is actually doing really okay. He looks great. To be perfectly frank, I don't know how much years are between him and Joel, but you can tell that Tommy's life has been far kinder to him than Joel's has. And also it could be just the way that they're dealing with things, because I am personally a believer that people who repress age very quickly. I think it takes a lot out of you physically, but I digress. He sees Tommy's doing well. Tommy has set up this life and this community, and it works, right? It's not a QZ, it's not the Fireflies, it's just a community of people who are living communistically, would that be the way to put it? And he's loving it. And what's more is that he's gotten married, he found love, and she's pregnant, so he's starting a family for the first time. And there's a lot going on, but Joel, I think it's so interesting, the dynamic that they showed when Ellie came and Ellie saw Joel and Tommy hug. I love that they showed that at first she was kind of happy because she was like, oh wow, like Joel's, he's gotten his family, he's so happy, but then the smile fades. And in my opinion, I think it's because she's scared now, right? Because Joel has become like family to her, the closest thing she's ever had. She cares about him, she relies on him, and now he's got family, someone who's got a tie that's stronger than hers, right? Her and Joel have trauma bonded, but this is his brother, right? And I think a lot of that cattiness that we see in the mess hall between her and Marlene and everything, it's very much coming from a place of she's scared. She thinks that she might be replaced, that now that Joel has his family, maybe Ellie doesn't have a place in his life anymore. And so she gets a bit snarky, and she's trying to kind of slapping and hissing at all the hands around her. We see that even Joel, and I think what's funny is that we first see it with Ellie, but then when Joel, sees Marlene kind of speaking and getting involved in their conversations, and he's like, oh, can I get a moment with family? And, Tommy's like, she is family. Like, that's my wife. This is your sister-in-law. And then we see that Joel starts to feel that fear that Ellie's feeling, like, oh, Tommy's only really ever had him. And now he's got a wife. So now he's got his own family. And now he doesn't have just Joel to rely on. And with after everything that Joel's lost, that's something that he's not really ready to handle. The idea that Tommy is really branching off and having somebody who's going to be at the same level, if not a higher priority than him in his life, right? So very interesting. A lot of really good emotional dynamics in this episode about and characters and how they're handling things. And then I think to me, the jewel of the episode was really the conversation between Tommy and Joel, which was so good. It was so good. And I hope that it gets awards or something because it was great. But it's the first time we finally see Joel be vulnerable. Like the last time we saw Joel even remotely emotional was obviously the night that Sarah died. And seeing him just finally let out a lot of what he's been carrying, right? Because we see that he was lying, right? In the beginning when Tommy asked him, like, who's the girl, how's Tess, all these things, Joel's still keeping up a bit of a distance while he's lying. Oh, Tess is fine. Oh, she's just a Firefly kid, right? He doesn't want to trust him yet. But then, the anxiety of it all starts to hit him. And when he's alone with Tommy, he's finally like, actually, here's the real situation. And I want you to take this burden from me. And what's very interesting about that conversation is that, Joel puts up a really good sounding argument, right? He's like, I'm old. I'm losing my hearing. She had to save my life more than once. I'm not as fast as I used to be. I really think I could get this kid killed. These are valid. I'm not saying that they're not valid fears. And Joel is probably very much worried about the fact that he isn't the badass that he was 10 years prior. But that's really not what the problem is here, because Ellie is actually very capable, and the episode was short to let us see Ellie telling him, like, show me how to hunt, show me how to shoot. I can take watch. Like, she's like, I'm 14, not 4. Like, I can do quite a bit if you let me, if you give me some responsibility. But Joel keeps resisting it because he feels like he's supposed to be a protector. And the crux of that finally comes to light when he's talking to Tommy, and he says, I keep freezing up. I keep getting these paralysis moments where I'm so scared and I can't move because I don't know what the right thing is to do. And it is absolutely a callback to that fateful night that he lost Sarah and he was frozen because this man had a gun at him, right? Like, and I think in Joel's mind, there was that split second where his brain clicked into, this man is not going to let us go. And to when that man started shooting. And I think somewhere in there, because Joel had that tiny moment of realization, he blames himself for not maybe moving faster or moving sooner, right? And we see it again right at the end of that first episode when he rushes that guard. Like, he has that paralysis again, but then in his mind he gets the flashback and he's like, no, I didn't act that time, or I didn't act fast enough. I'm going to act this time. And then he talks about the dreams that he keeps having, and he says he doesn't remember them. But if you remember back to episode 1, the sound that Joel falls asleep to pretty much every night is the last breaths of his daughter, the panicked, short, traumatizing final breaths of his daughter. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just keeps reliving those moments over and over again. And the way he said that I wake up and I fail in my sleep every single night, that line hit me. Like, that is so powerful and so sad, and it's so representative of what trauma does to us when we don't process it. For Joel, he keeps blaming himself. There is still a lot of self-blame. There's still a lot of things he has not learned to accept and let go, which is that simply there's nothing more he could have done in that moment. The what if game will drive you insane is the moral of the story, and he needs to get to the point where it's not about it's my fault. It's a matter of, I miss my daughter. I really miss my daughter. I'm so sad that I lost her. I miss her every day. I really wish she hadn't died like that. I have a bit of survivor's guilt, but it happened and I have to move forward. And we heard Tommy say that to him when they had their argument about how, just because your life stopped, mine didn't, or mine shouldn't too. And that's what happened. Joel's life stopped. He stopped loving. He stopped being open. He stopped laughing. He stopped allowing himself to feel. And as I said earlier in the episode, when I said, some of us, the way we handle trauma is by trying to turn off the feelings. Well, you can't select which ones to turn off. That's the thing with feelings. They're an all or nothing deal. You either get the whole gambit, which is joy, pain, sorrow, happiness, elation, depression, like it's a whole gambit, or you get nothing. And Joel has nothing. He doesn't have the joy. He doesn't have the peace. He doesn't have the happiness. He doesn't have the connection because he's decided to cut that off to try and protect himself. But all he's managed to do is isolate himself and allow that fear and that depression and that self-loathing to compound because of it. And so in this moment, this conversation he's having with Tommy, he kind of unloads where this is all coming from, where the panic attacks are sourcing from. And Tommy, I think, is just probably a little bit shocked that he's hearing Joel be this vulnerable, because I think that Joel's been very much like the Joel we saw, earlier in the episode with him most of his life. But seeing him like that, I can understand why Tommy was kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll do it. You're this, you're going to come to me like this, I'll do it for you. You know, I'll take this off of you. But again, this wasn't for Ellie. Like Joel kept saying, oh, I'm going to get her killed. It's because of her, but it wasn't. Joel does not want to be there to lose someone else. That's really what it was. He doesn't want to risk caring about Ellie anymore and losing her. That's really what that whole thing was about. And I think Tommy knew that deep down, but he knew that saying that to Joel in that moment was not the right time. So he said, no, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. And then we see, of course, when Joel goes to try and tell Ellie, but of course she heard the whole thing. She basically says to him, like, I'm not her, right? Like you're having these panic attacks. It's all coming back because you are seeing me or seeing your daughter in me. You're seeing that connection in me, but I'm not her. And, you know, we see at first Joel's very, ooh, don't touch that. It's my trigger button. But then in the end, you know, like she says, like, you say I'll be safer with Tommy, but I won't. I'll be more scared because I don't know him and I don't trust him. Not the way I trust you. I like that she kind of left him with that, and Joel really had to sit with it and really think about it. And I think that's when he came to the realization that I just mentioned, that him sending her with Tommy wasn't for her. It was for him. It was protecting him. It wasn't benefiting her emotionally, and it wasn't really going to benefit him either, because he was going to worry the entire time too, if we're being real, if they were going to be okay. So I love it. In the end, he made the right choice, right? He said, you know what, I'll give you the choice, Ellie, of who you want. Yeah. So just a great episode. I really, really like that. I think that was honestly some of the best parts of this episode. And then of course we see the end when they're finally heading towards this, Firefly wing, but it looks like it is gone. It's been, cleared out very quickly, which is the second time they've come across a Firefly facility that has been shut down in a hurry. But unfortunately, we see that Joel got hurt in trying to escape it and get away from what we can assume are raiders. But now Ellie is for the first time on her own in the middle of nowhere, because Joel is not okay right now. He's bleeding out. I think she can bind that wound, but there's a whole lot of other things that have to be worried about. What he was stabbed with looked rusty, did not look clean. So there's a whole lot of potential issues that can happen there. And I don't think that they packed much in the way of medical supplies. So, and she's very far from where they went, 5-day ride out from where, Tommy is. So she's going to be in quite the predicament. And this is going to be a real test for her, for just how self-sufficient she actually is. She kept telling Joel she could handle a lot, but let's see if she can, because the last thing we saw her doing is saying that I can't do this without you, Joel. I need you. So anyway, it was a very, very sad and vulnerable moment. But again, this is going to be a good test for Ellie, and kind of unfortunately a necessary one for her to start to understand what she's capable of, because the sad reality is that Joel will not be around forever, one way or another. I mean, she's only 14, don't get me wrong. No one should have to worry about that at that age, but I think it's going to be a situation where Ellie's going to be far more capable than she thinks she's capable of. So very much looking forward to that. But yes, great episode as usual. A lot to say there. I tried to keep it condensed, but there's just so much to unpack there. And I think it was handled beautifully, and Pedro absolutely nailed it, which I was not ever worried about, but it was just wonderful to see. And I'm very much looking forward to the next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up, and we will see you in the next video.